Okay, so something many people may not think of is when you're going to these types of remote locations, whether it be here or anywhere else, you often want to bring your own medical kit. You want to bring your own stuff just in case something happens. You want to stay safe. You're not sure what the medical system is like there. So you actually brought one of your medical kits. Now you travel with this. Tell us about this and what we need to bring.
So let me show you what I have. So I'm a big advocate.
Actually, we're going to put it there so the camera can get a shot.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's keep it there, and I will kind of take you guys through it.
Please.
So everything on here you can find at Amazon. I mean, this is all generic, but this is what I recommend. And my kit is quite robust, but we would be here for 2 hours, so I'm going to show you kind of the basics. So bringing something like this, which is really just the basic kit for 10 bucks that you can buy on Amazon, and that's going to have your bandages, it's going to have tweezers, it's going to have scissors, it's going to have gloves, it even has a whistle in there. So that's really simple, 10 bucks, really, really easy. Now, this is probably one of my new favorite things that I have brought in. And these are iodine Q-tips. And these are great. You just snap them off. They're really easy. They're clean. You don't make a mess with it. And if you have a cut or a bruise, that is a great antiseptic. Then I always recommend bringing something with you for fever and flu. I mean, this is like the generic Dayquil, NyQuil, because who wants to get sick on the road? You want to have that. And then the pink bottle, everyone recognizes that. Pepto, and then Imodium, charcoal, everything for a sick stomach. I also recommend a good probiotic because that's very helpful. Now, this I really love as well. These are the iodine swabs. And then this is malt vinegar packets. Anyone want to guess what this is for?
No, I have no idea.
Chris? Malt vinegar salad?
I wouldn't even begin to hazard a guess.
So that is great for jellyfish stings.
Oh.
So you pull them out.
It looks like a soy sauce package,
Exactly, it is. And it's white vinegar usually that you use, but I found these on Amazon and they're easy to travel with.
Do you remember that episode of Friends where they were peeing on each other?
I do. And by the way, that's a myth. That actually doesn't work. You want vinegar. It does not. You guys do not pee on yourselves with jellyfish because everyone talks about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't do that.
So this for jellyfish stings.
So for jellyfish stings, a good bug spray is a must. I had a friend go to a tropical destination, come back with dengue. You don't want that. Absolutely protect yourself with bug spray when you go to tropical destinations. I have this. It's a saline lotion, which is a wound wash. That is great because you don't want a dirty wound before you clean. You want to clean it out, make sure, especially if it's coral. Coral is actually a living animal, so that can cause infections and a lot of scarring. So you want to make sure that you clean that out. Some kind of a really generic allergy I think is great because anything for bites, for stings, like if you do have allergies on the road, that's a wonderful thing to have. This is a potable water tablet. That's a redundancy. I usually travel with a water filter. Now, you know, as much as I don't like plastic water bottles are truly the way to go. You have to be careful with water in destinations like that. This is great. This is called Eco Bandage. This is super wonderful because it's essentially a Band-Aid, but you put it on, let's see, I can do it actually.
Is it like a glue?
Yeah, it's not really a glue, but it basically seals a wound and it also disinfects it and protects it.
Wow.
So, and it comes in pretty colors. So I'm a big fan of that. And then, you know, like a little Benadryl packet like this, or anything that you can put on stings, cuts, burns. You know, you're gonna get bitten by some kind of a bug. So you want something to protect yourself.
So obviously, if we're going to Kiribati, we want to bring all this. But what other sorts of destinations would we want to think? You know what? I need to take the time to gather a kit like this compared to ones we don't need to think about.
I would say, you know, especially if you're going to an area like Kiribati, you do not want to end up at the medical establishment there. So take care of yourself, right? So there are destinations where the medical care is going to be subpar to what we really want to deal with. Obviously, there are destinations where you have that much better, much stronger medical care. One thing I will say is check government websites. They'll give you a lot of information. Like my friend probably would have known that dengue was there had he looked. So you want to check that. You also want to look at what you're going to run into. What you're going to run into in the Himalayas versus an island like Kiribati that you might need a little bit of help with. There are no blue-ringed octopus in the Himalayas, but there are in Kiribati. So understand that. And if you do prescriptions, which I usually will have my doctor prescribe like a general, like a really basic antibiotic and an anti-nausea, make sure that your prescriptions are well labeled because a lot of countries will confiscate them if they are not.
Oh.
Yeah. There's also oftentimes a limit on how much medication you can bring in, prescription medication. So check websites.
That is so funny because I always just put, I bring my little pill, my daily little pill thing.
I have that too.
And I just put them in there. I think you're talking about larger quantities.
Exactly. Well, even with that,
Okay.
there are countries that will confiscate that. So make sure that you have your name, the
Yeah.
prescribing doctor, all the documentation that you need.
It's good to know.
And this is such a great reminder because I do feel like when I've traveled with tour groups, they'll break down stuff like this to bring.
Yes.
They'll often mail you and say, oh, bring the A, B, C, and D. But if I'm not on a tour group, I wouldn't think to do this. So
it's important.
Great information as always. Kinga Philipps, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to get more information about Kinga and all her adventures, you can visit kingaphilipps.com or follow her on Instagram. Her handle is Kinga Philipps. Thank you so much. All right, still to come.
Actress from the pit, Taylor Dearden is here. We're pumped.
We'll be right back.